Most kids today associate reading with evil. No lie. They hate it. And that is just plain wrong. My name is Katie Zavian. I think kids need to enjoy more books. I, for one, love books. I've never hated them in my life. I own over 200 books and I've read them all. Most kids, unfortunately, aren't that lucky. They more enjoy TV, video games, and mindless internet browsing. So do I. But I always make room for going outside, hanging with friends, and of course, enjoying a good book. Not reading can affect your grades and how you do in life. There are so many genres to try. I've even read a book about whales on stilts shooting laser beams. Yet people call this lame. Why? It escapes me. Come on, try it. It's actually a really simple problem. Kids just need to read more. Why is it so hard to fix? All because of the messages TV and other things plant in kids' brains. No TV shows say that reading is fun or anything, and ones that do, kids ignore. The only messages that get to kids that support reading are from adults. Kids won't think stuff is cool if adults say it is. We need other kids to support books. More than $2 billion are spent on held-back kids with reading problems. They do really horrible in school because they can't read. They don't graduate. If so, they get into a bad school where good literature is not a criteria. They can't get jobs. Well, maybe a job at a Starbucks or a McDonald's, but nothing that gets you any large cash. And we all want money, right? We need to succeed. We just need the right skills. Reading can be fun. I know, not true, but really. Most adults try to get kids to read by forcing them into different books, ones possibly not in their particular interest zone. Try to find books that fit our interests, parents. Criticizing our choices does not help. Try to find one your type. There's a bunch of genres or types of books that you could take into interest. My original two favorites were realistic fiction and historical fiction, but my interests over time became wider, like fantasy, mystery, dystopian fantasy, and more. If you develop a wider range of interests, you may be able to indulge in a greater reading interest overall, do better in school, and maybe, just maybe, earn some of that cash I mentioned earlier. Though, if you start with one, you could end up with many favorites. As I've stated before, I adore reading. I grew up with books. The reason why? My mom's always worked at a book publishing company, first at Warner, then at Simon & Schuster. She brings home dozens of books. She's brought home many books for me over the years, and I've always read them. I even know some of my favorite authors. Other kids, as I mentioned before, aren't so lucky. From 1984 to 2004, the percentage of 17-year-olds in a survey who never to hardly ever read for fun rose from 9% to 19%. That's horrible. I have good grades, I'm on a very high reading level, and I'm glad to curl up with a challenging book once in a while. 31% of kids in a survey say they'd rather do other things. Well, I still love the internet, TV, and more. I'm an artist, for God's sake. I spent hours on digital art and animation, and I still have some time to squeeze some books into my life. The actual books aren't the only fun part of reading. Almost every book you can find, especially ones in series, will have a large online fan community. A few examples of the largest fan communities are the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling and the Warrior series by Aaron Hunter. Fan community is too long to say casually, so it's been shortened to fan base over the years. Most fan bases have millions of contributions from millions of people, spanning from the simplest fan fiction to the most intricately designed cosplay that fans wear to various cons and meetups around the world. I've been part of the Warriors fan base for a little over 2 years now, when my friend introduced me to the first book. My first fan character was spawned from this, an orange-brown tabby cat named Flareclaw. I have dozens of drawings of him. Some of my earliest cat drawing attempts are of him. You too can be part of this if you just pick up a book and dive in. As you can see from what I've said, reading is a huge problem among kids and needs to be fixed. But it can be fixed easily. Find a genre you like, a type of book, maybe a favorite author. If it's not a single book, pick up a series and join a wave of fans just like you. Reading really can be fun, but no one's ever said it in the right way. I hope I have. Pick up a book and start reading. Remember, you'd be slowly changing the world's perspective on literature. Try one.